Hey guys, welcome back to Hypnovision. Today, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm just going to ramble for a bit and I want to talk about the influence of social media, but not just social media itself, but the algorithms and how they influence how we see the world around us. It's no surprise that many of us, if we sat here and thought about it for just a minute, how many times have you had a thought about something and then pick up your phone, open an app like Facebook, for example, or some other social media app, and then boom, there's an advertisement for the thing that you were literally thinking about just moments before. But what's more creepy about this is not so much the fact that perhaps maybe you were having a conversation with somebody about something and then an ad showed up. Sometimes you can literally be thinking something and then all of a sudden there's an ad for it. What's going on behind this and why is this happening? Well, as it turns out, we have been training AI for many, many years. It's been public since 2022. But we, as a collective of people, have been training and programming the algorithm to tell it exactly what we want, and it gives us unbiased more and more of what it is that we are seeking. Now, does that mean that AI or these social media sites are listening to us? Or they tapping into our brain waves? Well, there's a lot of stuff out there that would suggest that yes, there's some patents that would involve being able to read your facial expressions, different traits for scrolling, for example. Perhaps when you were scrolling and when you stop and then you scroll back to watch a reel or something that you previously skipped past, there's a notation of this, there's a score kept. So, yes, there are many different techniques for these algorithms to track you, but it's way more advanced than that. So, that in itself has created a disconnect for people and a loneliness epidemic within this country because all you have to do is look around you at any given time, at any given place, and I guarantee that you will see just about everyone like this scrolling, scrolling. And the first minute that the conversation with them and their friends becomes born, phones right back out, looking right at the phone. Phone is everything nowadays for everyone. So we, by extension, start to attach our self identity or self worth to social media, to different apps on our devices. If we can't get the results that we want, then we express ourselves through social media, which has this feedback to it, right? The saying that we attract what we are, not what we think or what we want, we are literally attracting the very things that we speak into existence, the things that we think about most dominantly. But what's interesting is if AI is trying to give you more of what you want, then that includes things that you think about the most that you don't want. The very act of thinking about something you don't want is still thinking the thoughts of not wanting something. And by therefore, AI is going to give you more of that. Now, this is very interesting because um, when it comes to how influence happens through these social media platforms, you can be fed things into your algorithm. They call this injection of the feed, where stuff like chaos and conflict in different countries goes on, or mass events that affect the country as a populace happens, and then all of a sudden that's injected into your news feed, and you see reel after reel after reel of a certain event, and then it's followed with something like a soft touching moment. So there is a correlation between all of this, and it's designed and engineered to tap into your emotions and influence you in ways that you can't even comprehend that is happening. You're just doom scrolling. You're just spending a few minutes at break time. You're just spending a few minutes at lunchtime. You're just killing a few minutes sitting in a waiting room. All the while, AI is tracking everything that you do and wanting to feed you more of whatever that is. when we get into times where there's a big narrative shift in the country, of course, you're going to see injection of things like that into your news feeds, and you're going to start to see things being pushed more. So, yes, there's a lot of this stuff going on. And as much as I would love to do a deep dive video and pull back the curtain and lift the veil on some of these things and show you exactly how things are working, I honestly just wanted to sit down and just cut the mic on and start talking for a few minutes. One of the biggest things I think and truly believe that it's caused in this country is a division that's far worse than we could have ever imagined in the early 2000s. And what I mean by this is people nowadays don't really talk anymore. How many times do people actually pick up the phone and call someone versus being able to text? A lot of people prefer to text, send a text, than it is to pick up the phone and call someone. A lot of people would rather just go onto social media and keep up with someone versus actually the time, the trouble, and the effort to maintain a friendship. Even the most basic friendship requires some level of commitment. And most people nowadays just don't have those same levels of commitment, or they don't assign value to what it takes to keep a friendship alive. And I find that to be very interesting. And I, as someone who's openly stated for some time on my channel, it's been well over 3 years of me, what started off and being in isolation after leaving a very long relationship. I really didn't want to go out. I didn't want to go out and about. I didn't want to pick up the phone and call people and dump my problems onto other people. Instead, I put my head down and I went to work. I started journaling. I started meditating. I started doing a whole bunch of things that were outside of the norm for me, but it was still in a form of being isolated and a form of being alone. Now, for me, I also worked through COVID without missing a day of work, without getting sick. And a lot of people still believe that COVID was a real thing. And yes, we can finally talk about this on different social media apps and even here on YouTube. The restrictions have lightened up. There was a time when you would literally find yourself being kicked off the platform as a conspiracy theorist. But to be honest, there are a lot of other people like myself that saw the psyop of what was happening. If all of the news is saying the same thing, if there is no contradiction or no critical thought behind asking questions, and you're not allowed to ask questions, you can best guarantee that there is some kind of agenda, there's some kind of psyop that is going on behind this. And these are called false flag psyops because they're not true, but when people buy into them, they make it reality. There was a lot of people that experienced a lot of health conditions, and if the news is all saying it, if all the companies that people work for are starting to repeat it and post it into their organizations, that you have to wear a mask, that you have to do this and you have to do that, and you have to wash your hands 10,000 times, affecting your immune system so you can't fend off things, then people make reality out of things that are not real all the time. I mean, all you have to do is reach into your wallet and pull out a dollar bill. It's just a piece of paper that's printed and has a banknote stamped on it. So we humans do this all the time. We make things that are not real, we make it reality because of what? Our belief systems, what we believe we bring into reality. So the more that we are attached to our cell phones, the more that we allow that to become our self identity, we start to lose part of ourselves, who we truly are. So for me, that time span I spent alone was about finding myself again, but it was also unraveling so many things within myself that, came from the outside world, different influences, different belief systems that I had adopted from other people and other places. And I really spent time just trying to unravel what is real for me, what is not real, what is reality. And in the process of that, I started a YouTube channel and then I started a clothing store. And I very deeply wanted to bring people on this journey and I wanted to include people. And I even told people that I was trying to build something that would provide opportunities for other people. And I was doing this in a time where it seemed like, you know, the world has gone mad. It seems like everything is falling apart. Here I am building something in the middle of this, and that was very revealing to me, which is another reason why I circle back around to the idea of the loneliness epidemic, because putting people in that situation, like this is post COVID era, we have to just realize it's come and gone, but the damage of that was done. Stay 6 foot apart. Don't trust people. Divide people because of belief systems of put a mask on people, right? You can't see facial expressions if your face is covered up. You can't communicate. You can't read people's expressions. And then we drive a wedge between people, and that erodes trust. So then we rely more heavily on things like Zoom calls, Zoom meetings, or FaceTime, different things like that, which was one of the reasons why I started my content and eventually started to appear on camera in the ways that I have. So through that process, I was able to create multiple streams of income over the last 2 years. But it really highlighted to me just how lonely a lot of people are. You know, in one way, I could say, it's very sad, but I try to keep an optimistic mindset that the future is bright. So I keep going. And yes, I have to admit to the camera right now, and even the audience out here listening, there are days that I feel like I don't have any gas left in the tank. There are days where I feel like I'm just ready to pull it all down. There are days where I want to shut my store down in my YouTube channel and just say, F it, I'm done with it. I'm all of this effort for what? So, yes, there is a level of commitment that I think that as a general population or the collective of people has lost trust or lost faith in one another, really. So, I just want to have an open conversation about it because I want to know from you guys, everyone out there, um, if you're still listening, what do you think? How do you feel about things? And do you feel like social media has created the conditions for people to be more lonely, for people to be more non-trusting towards each other, and the division and all kinds of things that come from it? So there's a paradigm of being able to use the technology in a way that's beneficial to people, but then there's also the mindlessness of it all, where um, those dopamine receptors in our brain, we become addicted to just doom scrolling. And the other aspect of this, which I do think can cause loneliness, but not just that, but it can cause different forms of depression, is the simple fact that perhaps wherever you are when you're looking at something, you see somebody else that posting a vacation picture, posting a new car that they just got, posting this and posting that. And then this comparison thing starts to kick in. Well, must be nice. I wish I was on vacation. Must be nice. I wish I had a new car. And we start to compare ourselves to images that we see on social media, or we start to think that if we don't have these things also, then we are not successful in our own lives. And most of this is a form of materialism. So we get attached and think that if we don't have these things, then we are a failure in life. And that's just simply not true at all. I can tell you for 3 years now, learning to find happiness within myself without the need of all that stuff, without the need for validation from the outside world. There are times when the happiness seems to overflow, but then the thought of I'm building this alone, and when is this ever going to end? When will I have the desire to meet people again? And how does that work out? Because I don't want to do it through social media. I want to do it in real life, face to face with people, and actually build bonds and um, real life scenarios. So um, I don't know what you guys think out there, but you know, 3 years is quite a while, and it's long enough for your nervous system to really find its own baseline without being constantly influenced by other people. It's very important to realize that we are constantly bombarded with different forms of influence daily. And it's not just social media, it's TV ads, radio ads, the type of music that we listen to, the type of friends that we have around us, the type of coworkers that we have around us, the type of work that we do, for example. So there's a lot of different factors that go into this type of stuff that really start to form and shape our perception or what we call the world view of how we see the world around us. If we take on this limited view that there's a scarcity of everything, then we start to act from that place. We start to take action from the place of scarcity. And that's been very revealing for me is that we become what we dominantly think about the most. And that's very interesting. So for me, I just want to say to everyone out there that it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be a loneliness epidemic, but I don't see the world as that, as everyone is lonely. That's not how I'm trying to portray this. But there is a sense of a lot of people are connected to their phones in a way that is partially connected to how they identify with themselves. If they don't get enough likes on a post, if they don't get enough comments within something, if this or if that, all hinges on social media. It all hinges on going viral or not. There are a lot of people out there that call themselves influencers, and they're not really influencing. They are performers. They may not even see themselves that way, but they are performers. They are performing for attention. Now, that's very different than entertainment. To entertain would be the definition of that is to bind someone's attention, but entertainment is meant to be we go to a movie because we want to watch a movie, we want to be entertained. We go and listen to a concert because we want to be entertained because we like the band, we like their music. That form of entertainment to me is like something that a person would choose to allow their attention span to be entrapped and entertained and to really experience the full experience. However, there is a difference in performing for attention, attention seeking. There are women, for example, that post a what do you call it? A thirst trap. So like the endless selfie posts that seem to be geared towards just simply getting likes, and there's no substance behind it. There's no real anything behind it. It's just a hollow, empty person wanting validation that they look pretty. And then these are the same people that will go out and blast someone on their Facebook page for some reason that they have creepy men in their inbox. This is all by design. I mean, it is a thirst trap. That's what it is. There's no other way to look at it. So, um, if you are really trying to be a positive influence on the world, you wouldn't just post endless selfies and then say that people call you conceited and then blast people on your Facebook. No, you would actually be putting in the work. You would actually be doing the work and you would actually be influencing other people. And that is another form of attention. But there is a very big difference in the three. So just wanted to point that out. Just wanted to ramble for a little bit on this video because I do see how AI and the algorithms are heavily influencing people. And it has caused a lot of distrust in people. It has caused a lot of mistrust in people. And it has caused a lot of other things in the process. But for me, I'm going to keep trucking along no matter what. So, YouTube has given me a purpose in my own life, regardless of how many people watch my channel from video to video or not. There have been some videos, I'll be honest with you guys, to spend 45 minutes in front of the camera and then spend another hour or so editing and then get 10, 15, 20 views on a video. It can affect you, and most people would give up. And I have honestly had some of those same thoughts myself. You know what? I should just give up. This ain't working. But that doesn't mean that my whole channel should be taken down because of one or two video. You're going to have some stinkers. There are, I listened to Andre 3000 just a few days ago where he had asked one of his friends about a song that he was getting ready to debut. And his friend was like, "Hey, if you put this on your album, your music career is over." And, as it turns out, Hey Y'all just happened to be one of the biggest hits of the 2000s, and it was massively popular. So just because you think someone won't like something doesn't mean that there are not other people out there who would like it. So there is an abundance of people. And if we start to take rejection sensitivity and dial it up to the point that the first rejection just flatlines everything and we just throw in the towel and we just give up, then we can't never really go anywhere because we are going to put ourselves in this fear of being rejected to the point that we become paralyzed, we become frozen, we don't take any action out of fear. And to overcome that fear sometimes just means taking a leap of faith and saying, you know what? Maybe my best friend doesn't like this. Maybe my parent won't like what I'm getting ready to do in my life, but this is for me, not for them. So that makes all the difference in the world. And with that, guys, I'm going to end the video and I want to say thank you to everyone out there who's um, watched my videos. I've had some really great comments lately and I appreciate every single one of them. I love you guys to death. And I'm going to keep showing up as long as you guys keep showing up as well. And we are going to continue to keep that mindset that the future is bright and that anything is possible because it truly is. I am living proof of that for sure. And with that, guys, I'll see you very soon.